What a great honor to be able to introduce for the first time ever anywhere the 45th President of the United States of America.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. Folks, this is slow-moving SHTF, but it is moving, and it is hitting the fan. Oftentimes, your opponents, your adversaries, your enemies will tell you exactly who they are and exactly what they're doing. And part of this in psychology is called projection or projecting, and that is what they do. They tell us, folks. They've come out and told us exactly what to expect, what's coming. Having the nickname, the slogan, the prophet of prepping. I'm no seer into the future. I see exactly what they're telling us they're going to do. Now, we are engaged in an information war, a psychology war. We're engaged in a communications war, a psychological war. Now, what is interesting is there are different layers of knowledge, different layers of understanding, different layers of participation on the part of our enemy. The mainstream media speaks to the entire population. Only half of the population listens, but they speak to all of us, always pushing their propaganda, always pushing and teaching their indoctrination to those who are already indoctrinated to keep them there. See, that's what's important about propaganda is you always need to be keeping your people propagandized. You cannot allow them to begin to think for themselves. Now, it's important to note, I think, that we were all in school, but we didn't all get the same thing. You see, I got an education like you. And with an education, you get information and you're allowed to think about it and come to your own conclusions, etc. When you are propagandized, you are given skewed information and you are not allowed to think about it. You're told what to think about it, how to think, and you are punished for trying to think on your own. Look at how children are treated today. Children were told 20 years ago, don't be a bully. Today, being a bully is fully acceptable, as long as you're bullying people to believe the propaganda and the lies. Now, that was 20 years ago. Today, where are we at, folks? We're in the middle of this train that is pulling into Shitville, and it is nice and slowly getting there. The mainstream media is having a field day because we have been silenced, right? And we've been reduced to being little more than comedians. Right? We're just comedians. That's the context for this video and all of my videos now. But I can use comedy, I can use satire, I can use smart acidness to get the point across. And we will. And we'll continue, folks, to educate ourselves as to what our enemies, our adversaries are doing. Now, MSNBC host Nicole Wallace said that using the phrase, let's go Brandon, is part of an insurrection effort, a slow-moving insurrection. Isn't that fascinating, folks? What I say is that any attempt to push socialized laws, socialized medicine, socialized safety nets, socialized programs to help the poor, the needy, the this, the that, retirement benefits, all those are slow-moving attempts at destroying the Constitution and bringing in communism. Oh, it's working. That's right. We have communists everywhere now, out in the open, serving in Congress in Washington. Now, Nicole Wallace was putting her little program on because she was pissed about the former police officer, father of four, Jared Schmeck, who during the NORAD Santa tracker with President Joe Biden used the phrase, "Let's go Brandon." And this caused Nicole Wallace to become unhinged stupid, right? Not jumping up and down and screaming and pulling her hair out, nothing like that. But oh yeah, they think and see insurrection. I'm going to read what she had to say, okay? And understand, this is how they think. How they think is skewed by propaganda and indoctrination. How they think, the decisions they come up with, are based on what their masters want them to think, so that their masters can take action at some point. She says, "I don't know where to start. Let me tell you why this matters." The "Let's go Brandon." The asymmetry has always been what advantages the Trump right more than anything else. And the asymmetry of saying F you to a sitting president on a call in front of your 4 kids. Don't look past this, she said. Don't look at this as a story about giving airtime to a MAGA guy who goes on Steve Bannon's podcast and said, "I wasn't joking. Not only did I say F you, Mr. President, I said more than that." So she's saying, oh, I see a whole lot more. I thought "Let's go Brandon" was just an idea. After all, Antifa is just an idea. After all, no one who says "Let's go Brandon" has burned down a city, assaulted and murdered police, rioted, looted, killed citizens, shut down freeways, disabled governments, disabled courthouses. No. The summer of love, mostly peaceful protesting 2020, that was not the "Let's go Brandon" crowd. But we'll continue, right? She said, "This is the slow motion insurrection, Jason, in full color." Unbelievable, right? Then she goes on to interpret, right, what is happening. This Jason guy, he chimed in. He said, "These people are basically just insurrectionists in training now." Unbelievable. He says, "MAGA isn't about taxes, Let's go Brandon isn't about what you feel about the supply chain issues and gas. It is the cry of insurrectionists. It is the cry of people who want to violently take over this country and oppress anyone who is not like them." I thought it was BLM who was going door to door harassing people. I thought it was BLM who was shutting down highways, who was protesting in front of town halls, who was setting fire to courthouses, police stations, police cars, because they believed those people didn't think like them. Wasn't it BLM and Antifa who were assaulting people? Assaulting old ladies and old men who weren't like them because, hey, boomer. Remember that shit? Because they don't like boomers, because boomers, right, don't think like them, because boomers are old and easy targets for these people. Now, "Let's go Brandon" has been a rallying statement, a joke, a trolling device, a meme. It has worked wonderfully to give the people an expression that they can all use, that we all understand. And basically it means we don't like the Democrat regime. We don't like communism. But they say it is about insurrection, and violent insurrection at that. And this is coming from the media. And the media, they're a bunch of joyless idiots. But the media will take this information, and like I said, they give it to the whole population, all of them. And only the left will accept it, right? The left accepts it, takes it, runs with it. That's their new talking points, right? You unjuicinated. "Let's go Brandon. Make America great Trumpsters. You are evil bad. And you are insurrectionists and you're violent." It's like, are you kidding me? Unbelievable, folks. That's what they think. Now, so you've got the people at the top in power. Then you've got the people they control, like Biden, Kamala, 90 Proof Nancy. Under that, you have mainstream media, the entertainment division of the world, and social media and big tech. And under that, you start having the distribution networks, the local grassroots communist organizations, and people within the Democrat Party that have a very loud, big, fat, smelly mouth, and they will run around screaming in everyone's faces. They're commonly called Karens. Our distribution network doesn't come from Trump. My distribution network starts with gathering information from myself and from you guys, and then I think for myself. I listen to various ideas, whether they come from media sources or people I know, things I read, and things I see coming from the left and from them, and I think for myself. And I bring you guys ideas, and you bring me your ideas. It's a whole different system, is it not? Yet we've all kind of moved under this "Let's go Brandon, fuck Joe Biden" banner because it makes sense. That bothers them, that we think for ourselves, that we're able to discern fact and truth from their lies and fiction. And they don't like that we can act independently. We are free. We are a bunch of free agents. They, on the other hand, are a bunch of lemmings and dupes and sheep. But the people at the top in mainstream media, they're pushing this idea that we are a slow-moving insurrection. Let's see. Starting with Social Security back in the 1930s, starting with the League of Nations under President, who was that guy? Woodrow Wilson. They've been pushing these socialized programs on the national and global level. League of Nations failed, United Nations succeeded, the Great Society under LBJ was started, right? They've been pushing this crap on us my whole life and longer. They are the slow-moving insurrection, putting their anti-constitutional judges on the bench, their unconstitutional, anti-constitutional ideas in bills, laws, seating fat-ass socialists and communists in bureaucratic positions that are lifelong appointments, and continuing to spew their hatred of freedom, liberty, and the Constitution through the educational system. They are the slow-moving insurrection, and that is their projection. What they are doing is un-American. But what they see now, this is what they believe. Understand this, please. They believe at the very top that they have won. All it is now is a matter of cleaning up the mess, sweeping aside people like you and me, getting rid of us so that they can take control. The people below them in politics, like the president, right? You got the bankers at the very top, then you got the president. That's right. The president is less powerful than people who pull his strings. Right? Then you have Nancy Pants, up Chuck Schumer, governors of states. These people, they have their job. They think they've won, and all they have to do is clean up the mess, win a few more elections, get rid of us. The mainstream media thinks they've won everything and that they have the power now and that we're going to get all of this great new society, new Green Deal, build back better. It's going to be a socialist fucking utopia. But we are now the insurrectionists because we're trying to undo the things they have put forward. You see, they don't see themselves as being the insurrectionists and destroying the Constitution, our American Republic. They don't see it that way. They think they've taken control through some natural process that's allowed, justified, whereas what I see them as being a bunch of treasonous pigs. I think once you try and pass a law that violates the Constitution, you have committed an act of treason, knowingly or unknowingly. And if you unknowingly did it, well, fine. You just, one, have the law struck down. Two, you're removed from your seat of authority forever. That's what happens when you introduce, submit, and vote for a bill, a law that is unconstitutional. That's what I think. But folks, these people say you're an insurrectionist. I am, that we are a slow-moving insurrection, and we're in training, you see. Never mind all the leftists out there who are in training from kindergarten all the way through college, being trained to hate America, to hate white people, to hate freedom and liberty, to hate equality and instead push for equity so that certain people get special privileges. Right? They have co-opted the idea of what healthcare is. Healthcare is for everyone, says Obama. Now healthcare is only for those who agree with Obama politics and Obama style politics, or Biden politics, or Hillary politics, or Nancy politics, as long as those politics are socialist in nature. Now, again, what people don't seem to understand is as they consolidate, as they get more power in the banking system in Washington, they are going to push harder and harder and harder and ultimately start acting violently against us. In the Democrat world, the people at the very bottom, they're already acting violently towards people who have no masks. They're punching them on planes. They're punching them in restaurants. They call the police. They scream and yell. They shout them down. They yell at them. They assault them in grocery stores. That's what they think of us. They wish and tell us how they think we should die. We had someone write in who said that they worked with a company that had 1,000 people at the Christmas party. And they all thought he was vaccinated. And the CFO, the chief financial officer of this large corporation, told him that he thinks the unjuicinated should all be killed, die, done. That is a very common belief system. It's becoming more common, and they are speaking those words. Right? They're speaking those words. Unbelievable, folks. Yeah. So if they think that on the lower level, what is it that these next level mainstream media, social media giants, what is it that they believe? Right? If we're insurrectionists and we're criminals and so bad, right? They want to silence us, and they're doing it, but they know they're also a bunch of liars, right? They pretend that they're for free speech while they silence any opposing view and say that's hate, that's dangerous, that's misinformation. They know they're liars. They're more intelligent than these bottom level dipshits out there, but they are on that next level up, and they are useful idiots, just like mainstream media. The next level up, politicians, they have muscle. This is where the muscle is contained. The guns, the weapons, the jails, the prisons. That is contained in the political level, the political class. If the street people think we should die and they hate us, and the mainstream media keep pushing that narrative of hate us without saying it, of we're dangerous, and they are saying it, that we're insurrectionists, which is tantamount to being treasonous, folks. They're saying we're treasonous, and we're treasonous in training. All they have to do at the next level up, the political level, is declare that we are insurrectionists and that we are dangerous, like parents. The political class has labeled parents as domestic terrorists. To be a parent is to be a domestic terrorist in the United States of America, according to the United States government on that little piece of dirt called Washington, D.C. And the people above that, the bankers, they're just fine with that. They're like, hands clean for us. We're just here to make money and control everything. The political class is the next one to say, Let's Go Brandon is an insurrection movement, and that anyone who isn't a Democrat registered is the enemy of the state. Remember, folks, Nazi Germany, if you weren't wearing a little lapel pin that said Nazi Party, you were considered a threat to the state. Not everyone was a Nazi Party member, but if you were not, you were considered a threat. They kept an eye on you. They watched you very closely. Many of those people were hauled away for doing nothing wrong, while many were allowed to continue to live. I'm sure a lot of unjuicinated people are going to get hauled away because they're a threat. I'm sure a lot of people who believe in freedom and liberty are going to be considered a threat. This is where we're at, folks. This is where we're at. Whether it's Survey-Savag, or whether it's politics, or whether it's education or the military, the hammer is dropping on us. Their slow-moving insurrection they've been doing for decades is accelerating very, very quickly. Our republic is falling. We can defend it. We will defend it. But the slow-moving insurrectionists, that is the Democrat Party, they're playing their cards very well in doing this slowly so they can educate their idiots on the bottom level, because they need that support. Just as we discussed yesterday, that the Republican side, the freedom side, the conservative side, the constitutional side, we need to wake up our sheep as well. Not because we expect them to join us, but we want them to understand what is happening. So as it happens, they don't think that we are the bad guys, that they see that we want freedom and liberty, and we want sound government that is restrained and performs tasks as prescribed. That's right. In other words, the government is our servant, not our masters. In the meantime, are you prepared? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan. Do you have that together? The reason I ask is we never know when they're going to do something really nasty and really big. But what we do know is that it is coming. They are not quitting, folks. Their slow-moving socialist insurrection, their social fascist and social communist efforts are continuing. And every time they succeed, they take another little piece of our Constitution and flush it down the toilet. I never thought I would be in this position, folks, where I talk about our Constitution being shredded and flushed by Democrats. I thought people would have woken up and they would have stopped. I thought people would have known better. What I've discovered is that people are lazy. They've been bought off by the Democrat Party, by all of these promises of benefits and entitlements, and the belief system that they can't get ahead on their own, the belief system that being free isn't the best thing in the world. They've been bought off. They've been fooled and lied to. I can't tell you how many young people I talk to now don't understand the Constitution, don't understand the importance of freedom, don't get it. They just think this is some sort of political fight. They don't see that it's a fight for our lives and our souls and the soul of this nation. They don't understand that communism murders by the millions their own people. They have no idea. They just heard it's a good thing and it'll make things right and make things fair and make things even. They've been told and taught that boomers and Gen Xers have stolen all the wealth. Hardly. Anyways, you guys be cool. We got more to talk about this afternoon. I'll see you then, folks. And thank you for all of the great satire. You bet, folks. What a deal. Chance favors the prepared mind. Are you